The space station floated alone near Pluto's orbit, silent and cold. It was old, forgotten, and no longer on any official map. Its name was Outpost K9, and only a few people even remembered it existed. Inside, 2 operators worked night shifts. Just to keep it running, one of them, Sergeant Lee Carver, was half asleep when the screen in front of him flickered. A line of static ran across the main monitor. He blinked and sat up straight. The signal wasn't from Earth. That much he knew right away. Earth signals were clean, sharp, and easy to read. This one was strange. It pulsed like a heartbeat, then hissed through the speakers like a whispering wind. He turned to his partner, Private Malik, who was reading a comic book with his feet on the desk. "You hear that?" Lee asked. Sighed, took off his headphones, and leaned closer. The sound continued, a low hum, broken by clicks, pulses, and strange patterns. It wasn't natural. It wasn't random either. "It's a message," whispered. "From where?" Lee typed quickly, locking the signal into recording. He checked the frequency. It wasn't on any known band. It was hidden deep, far below. Normal scan ranges. Something was trying to stay hidden, but it had failed. The message grew louder, and then suddenly it stopped. Silence returned. Then the words came, not spoken in English, not in any human language, but the computer after. Minutes of working finally translated part of it. One line flashed on the screen. "This is your final warning. Earth must not expand beyond its system." Both men froze. "That can't be real," UN said. "Someone's playing a prank, right?" Lee shook his head. "It's not a prank. That's a warning, but not to us. This wasn't meant for human ears." Before they could react further, the message repeated again, same tone, same words, same pause. They forwarded it to Earth Command. But they didn't get a reply, not for hours. And when the reply came, it wasn't from Earth. A second signal arrived, stronger, clearer. This one didn't whisper. It shouted across all deep space channels. "You have listened to what was forbidden. Prepare for consequences." Then all their systems shut down. Alarms blared. Lights blinked red. Outpost K9 began to lose power. Lee shouted into the emergency line. "We're under some kind of attack. Systems failing. Requesting backup. Now." No one answered. All feeds to Earth went dark. UN looked outside through the observation window. At first, he saw only stars. Then, movement. A shape, smooth and black, drifting silently through the void. No lights, no engine trail, just cold motion. It wasn't a meteor. It wasn't human. It hovered close to the station for a moment, then disappeared. The next morning, Earth received a broken message from Outpost K9. Only one word was clear. "They're watching," and all contact was lost. The station never replied again. On Earth, in the United World Defense Center, alarms rang. Top leaders from every major country were gathered. The message from Pluto had reached them. And it wasn't just strange, it was terrifying. They reviewed the translation multiple times. They tried to trace the source. It didn't come from Mars, Luna, or any known satellite. The direction pointed somewhere outside the solar system, far beyond Neptune, a place where no human ship had gone. Dr. Heine Shao, lead analyst of deep space communications, stood at the front of the dark room, her hands shaking slightly. "This wasn't just a signal," she said. "It was a conversation between 2 alien powers, and we intercepted it by accident." She played a filtered version of the message again. It was clearer now. 2 voices, one deep and cold, issuing the warning, the other replying in panic, asking for more time. Earth had heard the message. Not meant for it, but the worst part? The stronger voice said this at the end. "If Earth hears this, eliminate their reach. Silence the system." Panic spread. Governments started locking down space programs. Civilian space travel was paused. Satellites were retasked to scan deep space. Every scientist on Earth was ordered to listen for similar signals. Nothing came. Days passed. Then weeks. And then, one by one, Earth's outer satellites began to vanish. First the Neptune Watcher, then 2 probes near Saturn, then a Martian cum station. No explosion, no distress signals, just gone. One moment they were there, the next silence. Earth couldn't deny it anymore. Someone was out there watching, listening, preparing. Commander Rhea Morgan, leader of Earth's orbital defense fleet, was called in. She was one of the few officers trained for first contact conflict, a scenario most people thought would never happen. She sat in silence, reading the translated messages, listening to the repeating signals we were never supposed to hear. This, she said, we just got lucky. Or unlucky. Her team began scanning the edges of the solar system, and then they saw something. Far out, near the edge of the Oort cloud, energy spikes, tiny flashes, movements that didn't match any comet or rock. It wasn't natural. They sent a drone to investigate. The drone recorded something before it was. Destroyed a shape, a structure, floating in space, like a giant mirror, reflecting nothing. A stealth drone. Alien tech. It wasn't transmitting, it was receiving. Watching Earth, the moment it detected the human drone, it exploded. Earth had never seen tech like this. They didn't understand how it moved, how it hid, or what it wanted. But one thing was clear. It wasn't here for peace. Commander Rhea stood before her officers. They've been watching, waiting, and now we've stepped into something ancient, something dangerous. We've touched a signal meant for someone else, and now we're part of it. Meanwhile, on a quiet military base on the dark side of the moon, something else happened. An old AI system shut down for years suddenly turned on. It accessed the original transmission. It decoded something that no human could. Inside the signal was a name, Soul Contingency, Code Black. The AI began preparing. It didn't ask for permission. It had its own orders, written long ago. Old defense protocols, hidden blueprints, secret launch codes, and one final message. If the Council speaks again, Earth must remember. Back on Earth, the skies looked normal. People lived their lives. No one knew what was coming. But deep in the stars, a council of alien species sat in silence. One of them spoke. Earth heard the warning. They were not supposed to. Another replied, then Earth must be silenced. And so the war began. Not with a shot, not with a ship, but with a signal. The signal no one was supposed to hear. Darkness fell over Europa. Not the natural kind. Not the shadow of Jupiter. This was something else. The human colony ECS-3, floating above the icy moon's surface, suddenly lost all contact with Earth. One moment, everything was normal. Solar panels humming, satellites in orbit, children in the artificial habitat laughing. The next moment, nothing. Every screen went black, every radio silent. Emergency lights flickered on. The backup systems tried to reboot, but Commander Commander Elias Trent, leader of the Europa Research Unit, stood frozen in the control room. He had seen power failures before, but this felt different. This wasn't a failure. It was a shutdown. He looked at his crew. 30 engineers and scientists stared at the screens, waiting for them to light back up. They didn't. He ordered a system scan. No virus, no overload, no external impact, his tech officer said. It's like someone turned us off. 10 minutes later, they detected something even worse. The orbiting satellite ER-9, responsible for communication with Mars and Earth, had vanished, not crashed. Not destroyed, gone. Elias called for full lockdown, but by then, it was already too late. Far above Europa's thin atmosphere, a small alien probe floated silently. It was the same type that Earth's deep space drone had encountered weeks ago. No engine heat, no reflection, just a smooth, black shape. Watching it had disabled the colony's systems using a silent pulse of frequency, unknown to any human technology. Then it waited back on Earth. The United World Defense Center was flooded with emergency reports. Within 1 hour, 5 outer system colonies had gone dark. Europa, Mars Outpost, Ares 7, Luna Relay Station, Titan Research Dome, Saturn Fuel Depot, all offline, all communications lost. The first thought was a solar flare. But there was no solar event, no space weather explanation. Then someone suggested sabotage. But nothing fit. Then came the final alert from the last functioning Mars satellite. Moments before it too vanished, it captured an image. Not clear, blurred, but in the background. Between stars, you could see the outline of a ship. Long, silent, alien. And it was not moving away. It was moving in, Commander. Rhea Morgan received the photo and stared at it for a full minute. The ship's shape reminded her of something she'd seen in the decoded data from the Pluto transmission. This design, she whispered, it matches the Zorith fleet signature. A junior officer nearby asked, the Zorith Empire? Are they real? Rhea nodded slowly. They were believed to be one of the oldest council factions, thought to be in hiding for thousands of years. If that's really them, then we're in deep trouble. Later that night, Earth's defense satellites picked up a second fleet. It entered the solar system without a sound, through a back corridor near the heliopause. Unmarked, no signal, no communication, but the sensors confirmed. At least 12 massive vessels, larger than anything built by humanity. Still, they didn't attack. They hovered near Neptune, unmoving. No broadcasts, no weapons fired. Just watching a secret. Meeting was held under the Arctic Circle, an underground base called Site 17. Present were Earth's top defense leaders, space fleet commanders, and AI intelligence corps. They studied the movement patterns. These ships weren't just here for observation. They were forming a net surrounding the outer planets, cutting off the colonies from Earth. It was a quarantine, and the message from the Pluto signal made sense now. Earth must not expand beyond its system. The Council had warned Earth now. They were enforcing it, but Earth wasn't planning to surrender. Not yet. Rhea was assigned a new mission. Lead a small task force toward Neptune. Observe. Do not engage. Just record everything. Her ship, the EDS Valor, was launched within hours. It was a stealth cruiser, Earth's fastest and most silent vessel. On board were 20 elite officers, engineers, and a military AI named Spectre. As they approached the last known location of the alien fleet, they switched all systems to silent mode. No lights, no broadcasts. Even their oxygen systems were muffled. Then they saw them, floating like shadows against the star's 12 ships. Dark and massive. One of them turned slowly, like a beast sensing movement. Spectre's voice whispered. Across the ship, we've been detected, the crew tensed. Weapons remained offline. They weren't here to fight, but suddenly, the nearest alien ship began charging power. Blue lines ran across its hull, glowing like veins. Commander, it's preparing to fire, the weapons officer shouted, before Rhea could order retreat. A loud voice cut through their comm system. It wasn't human. The tone was deep, echoing. Withdraw, or Earth will be erased. The message was clear. The ship had broadcast in perfect English. Rhea's crew froze. Who taught them our language? Spectre tried to jam the signal, but quoted. Another voice followed. A second alien ship. This one was less calm, more afraid. They've already activated the soul contingency. The timeline is broken. Rhea's eyes widened. That phrase, against all contingency, the same one buried inside the Pluto signal. Before she could respond, the alien ships turned away. They didn't attack. They disappeared into deep space. When by one leaving behind only silence, the Valar returned. To Earth. Shaken but undamaged. The message they brought back was worse than any attack. Earth had activated something, some hidden protocol left from the past. But who activated it? And what was the soul contingency? The answer came 2 days later. A secret lab in the Andes Mountains reported strange activity, a dormant AI system. Sealed since the year 2083, had turned on its name. Aegis 1, its first words. Threat detected. Humanity must remember who we are. Then it displayed a star map. Not of this galaxy, a different one, and a timeline full of war. Exiles, memory wipes. Earth wasn't just a young race. It was a forgotten one. The next morning, Dr. Heinezhou decoded more of the Pluto signal. It wasn't just a warning. It was a conversation between two alien powers discussing Earth's history. The truth shook her. To the core, one voice said, their minds were locked. But something has awakened them, the other replied. If Earth rediscovers its past, the stars will burn again. On the surface, Earth remained quiet. No wars, no panic. Life moved on, but deep beneath mountains, inside orbital stations, inside sleeping AI minds, something was waking up, and the galaxy would soon remember why they feared Earth in the first place. Beneath the ice crust of Antarctica, in a facility that didn't exist on any map, something ancient came online. The complex was buried under 3 kilometers of ice. Sunlight had touched it in centuries. The humans who worked there had no idea. What the true purpose of the base was, they thought it was just a cold research station, used to study deep Earth minerals and ancient ice samples. But 2 days after the Europa blackout, something strange happened. The floor shook. The vibration was small, barely enough to notice. But the seismic sensors deep in the walls picked it up. It wasn't an earthquake. It came from under the facility. Technician Lana Veras checked the monitors and froze. Sir, there's something moving beneath us. Her voice trembled. It's artificial. Commander Joseph Rain, the site lead, walked to her station. He stared at the scan metal plates, perfectly shaped curves, and a signal, a soft pulse, like a heartbeat, was echoing upward from the ice. The others gathered around. This facility was built on top of a machine? Lana whispered. Before anyone could answer, the power cut, all lights went out. The temperature dropped sharply. The backup generators kicked in, but only enough to power emergency systems. Then came a voice, not through the speakers. Not from outside. It was in their heads. A deep, calm voice spoke in perfect English. Protocol Soul contingency recognized. Human presence confirmed. Memory lock disengaged. The floor beneath them split. A platform, hidden for centuries, began to rise from the ice. Steam hissed from the cracks. Circular door slowly opened. Inside was a dark chamber, lit only by blue lights running along the walls. In the center stood a tall object, like a sarcophagus, smooth black, covered in glowing lines. It wasn't human technology. Joseph and his team stared at it in silence. Then the object spoke. Do not be afraid. I am Econine, guardian of Earth's forgotten inheritance, and I have waited a very long time. At the same time, thousands of kilometers away in low Earth orbit, the EDS Valor returned from its deep space mission commander. Rhea Morgan handed over the footage of the alien fleet and their chilling warning. Withdraw or Earth will be erased. But there was no time to rest. Another signal had just been picked up, this time from deep under Antarctica. It matched the same frequency that destroyed Europa's systems. Except this one was different. It wasn't a threat. It was a summon. Rhea was ordered to travel to Antarctica immediately with a team of AI specialists, linguists, and historians. Her new mission: find out what had awakened beneath the ice. When her dropship landed on the frozen continent, the snow was already melting in a perfect circle around the old research base. Steam rose into the sky. The ice was turning to water, but not from heat, from energy, inside the base. Rhea met Joseph and Lana. They led her to the chamber. Rhea had seen alien tech before, but nothing like this. The sarcophagus opened. Inside stood a human door, something that looked human. His body was wrapped in a black metallic suit. Lines of light ran across his skin. His eyes glowed faintly. He breathed slowly, calmly. And when he spoke, his voice echoed like it came from a cave. I am not from your time, but I was born here. And the last sentinel of Earth's first war. Rhea stepped forward. First war? Earth has never fought in space before. The man's head tilted. You were made to forget. The room went silent. He raised his hand and projected a hologram from his palm. It showed a star map, not of Earth's system, but of a distant part of the galaxy. 12,000 years ago, Earth was part of a hidden civilization. We had cities under the sea, fleets in the stars, minds linked across planets. But we made a mistake. We challenged the Council. He showed images of tall, thin alien beings, their ships shaped like blades, their planets covered in red mist. Feared what we could become, so they erased us. They didn't just destroy our fleets, they erased our memories, our history, our past. Rhea shook her head. That's impossible. We would have remembered something. He turned to her. That's why I was created, failsafe, to wake up if the Council returned, to remind Earth of what it truly is. He walked forward and pointed. To the stars above, they warned you once. Now they are preparing to finish what they started. Rhea's heart pounded. Everything made sense. Now the signal, the ships near Neptune. The blackout of outer colonies, Earth had been marked again. But this time, they weren't just watching, they were closing in, back in orbit. AI systems across Earth began reactivating old codes. Military bunkers, forgotten satellites, even hidden launch stations on the moon received one clear message. Operation Echo Shield active. A wave of secret human technology began awakening. Not new systems, old ones. Designs that no modern scientists remembered writing. Blueprints, stored deep in Earth's crust. Weapons hidden in asteroids. AI minds older than Earth's current governments. All locked. Until now, on Jupiter's moon Ganymede, an excavation team discovered a buried chamber. Inside, a dormant ship, twice the size of a battleship. Humming with life, no human had ever seen it before, but it recognized their DNA. Welcome back, children. Of soul, it said. The Council had tried to erase Earth, but Earth had planned for that, and now, the past was fighting its way back. In the shadows of deep space, the alien council met again. They were no longer calm, the Zorith fleet had reported. Human awakening, one voice said. They've begun unlocking the Echo relics. If they access the core memory, the war will restart, another hissed. They were supposed to sleep for eternity, a final voice growled. Then make them sleep again. No warnings this time. Ash! To Ash. Back on Earth, Commander. Rhea stood before the awakened sentinel. You said we once had fleets. Where are they? He smiled faintly, scattered, hidden, sleeping, but not lost. He raised his hand and tapped a sequence on his wrist. Far beneath the ice, something massive began to move. The ground shook. The walls cracked, and from under the frozen continent, something huge began to rise, a ship black, ancient, covered in alien human design. Older than any known vessel, it broke through the ice with a roar of steam and light. Meet the Solaris. Ark, the last warship of old Earth. Rhea stepped forward. So what now? The sentinel looked to the sky. Now we remember who we are. The warning came at 3:17 Earth UTC. It wasn't a message. It wasn't a signal. It was a flash, a sudden burst of energy above Saturn's rings. Satellites picked it up first. Then a science probe near Titan stopped sending data. It was confirmed. A human mining station had been destroyed. No explosion was detected. No incoming fire. Just complete disintegration, as if the station had been erased from reality. Inside Earth's Global Defense Command, alarms blared. Red lights flooded the war rooms. Commander Rhea Morgan watched the feed with a clenched jaw. Titan Station housed 300 miners and engineers. Now nothing remained, not even wreckage. She didn't speak for a long time. Then she said one word. Council. Behind. Her Echo Knight the Sentinel, who had awakened under Antarctica, nodded, slowly. This was their test. They wanted to see how Earth reacts to loss. Before they strike again. Rhea turned to him. He didn't argue. In orbit, the Solaris Ark hovered above the Earth like a sleeping giant. Began to wake up. Engines lit for the first time in 12,000 years. The hull shimmered with energy. Earth scientists couldn't explain how it worked, but it responded to human DNA, especially those from ancient bloodlines. Rhea was one of them. Her family's gene pattern matched a code stored. Deep within the ship's command bridge, the Solaris Ark accepted her as its new captain. Before takeoff, a private meeting was held in the ship's war room. Conine, Rhea, and Earth's AI, Spectre, stood around a glowing table. A 3D map of the solar system rotated slowly. Red circles marked known council ship locations. Blue rings marked Earth's forces. Echo-9 pointed to a small moon of Saturn, Dione. They've hidden a shadow node here. It allows instant communication across the stars. If we destroy it, they'll be blind in this system for weeks. Rhea frowned. What's guarding it? Spectre answered. One battleship-class council vessel. Right, plus 2 cruisers. High probability they expect us to hesitate. They guessed wrong. 12 hours later, Solaris Ark launched from Earth orbit. It was the first time in modern history that a human ship entered. Battle not just to defend, but to strike back. As the ship passed Mars, it activated a shield system no Earth engineer understood. Energy folded around it like a living force. Lasers fired at it during testing, none even touched the surface. Echo-9 called it Sunveil. It was not just a shield, it was something ancient, alive. Some believed it had a mind of its own. As they approached Saturn, tension built on the bridge. The target was close. Dione, Spectre's voice cut through the silence. Enemy vessel detected. Council cruiser 340 kilometers above moon surface. Scans show weapons charging. Rhea gave the order. Do not wait. Fire.
Oh.
The Solaris Ark didn't fire missiles. Instead, its front opened like an iris ant, a pulse of white. Energy shot across space. It didn't explode. It simply cut. The enemy cruiser split in half, cleanly, without fire or flame. Everyone on the bridge froze. Rhea stared in shock. What was that? Cone stepped forward. A relic weapon. Quantum. Sheer. Band's technology newer than itself. Nothing built in the last 10,000 years can block it. The enemy had just learned what they were up against. The 2 remaining council ships turned sharply. One fled toward Saturn's shadow. The other didn't get the chance. Solaris Arks. Secondary weapon fired a wave of electromagnetic silence. The council battleship's lights flickered. Then it simply shut off, drifting dead. No escape. No signal. No fight. Earth watched the victory unfold in real time. For the first time in modern history. The council had been forced to retreat. But Rhea didn't smile, because when her crew boarded the dead council ship to search for survivors, they found something worse. No crew, no bodies, only machines, empty armor, synthetic shells. Spectre ran a scan. These weren't alien pilots, these were remote war puppets. It was controlled from far beyond this system. Rhea understood the message. This wasn't their real attack. This was a warning from the council, but this time aimed at Earth, and Earth had answered. That night, across the galaxy, panic spread. Council worlds lit their war beacons. Old fleets hidden for centuries began to move. Entire planets shifted into high alert. A voice echoed through the council's core network. They were supposed to forget. Now they remember. A new order was given. Crush the Earth before the others remember too. Because if Earth's past rose again, others might follow, and the galaxy would burn. On Earth, the people didn't know all the truth yet. News channels called the attack over Saturn a rogue alien incident. The truth was buried beneath layers of military silence. But something had changed in the skies. People could see a ship above them now. The Solaris Ark. It was no longer hiding, it was watching. And so were millions of eyes from the stars. In a quiet moment, Rhea stood alone on the ship's observation deck. Echo-9 appeared beside her. You've done well, Commander, but this was only the beginning. She didn't look at him. How many more are coming? He answered without hesitation. Enough to darken your sun. She turned to him. Then we better bring the light. The ship appeared without warning. No signal, no request to dock. Just emerged from a dark fold near the Kuiper Belt, slowly gliding toward Pluto's orbit like a shadow that didn't belong. At first, Earth's deep-range sensors thought it was a broken asteroid. But when the object turned, and solar light reflected off sharp edges and an old symbol, a sun split in tooth, the truth became clear. It was a ship. It was ancient. But it wasn't one of Earth's, and it didn't belong. To the council, Either back on board the Solaris Ark, Commander Rhea Morgan watched the footage with narrowed eyes. The unknown vessel didn't move aggressively. In fact, it hadn't moved at all for 6 hours. It just floated there waiting. Spectre, the AI intelligence assigned to monitor Earth's deep space threats, gave its report. Vessel class: unknown. Estimated construction: 15,000 Earth years old. The technology pattern does not match Council data. Rhea frowned. Any message? Spectre paused, then replied slowly, yes. Message received exactly 1 hour ago. In ancient Earth tongue, Sumerian dialect. Econine stepped forward. His face changed for the first time. Fear, that can't be right. But the translation was simple. We remember Earth. Permission to speak. Rhea made the decision to meet the unknown ship in person. A small shuttle was launched from the Solaris Ark, carrying Rhea, Echo 9, a translator team, and an escort squad. As they approached the vessel, the scale became clear. It was massive, larger than a human carrier, but hollow in the center. Its outer hull was blackened and dented. Strange symbols glowed along the side, half erased, half burned in. It looked more like a drifting grave than a warship. The shuttle connected to an airlock. The team stepped inside. No lights, no weapons drawn, just silence. Then a voice echoed through the chamber. You are late. By 12,000 years. A figure stepped forward from the shadows. It was humanoid but taller, thinner, with gray-blue skin and deep glowing eyes. A metallic plate was fused to its chest, and lines of light ran along its arms like veins. It was not human, but it had once served Earth. Echo-9 recognized it instantly. Valari. The figure nodded. Yes, one of the exiled. One of those who served Earth before the Council came. They called themselves the Valari Remnants. Once they had been allies of old Earth, before the Council's purge. When Earth fell, the Valari refused to kneel to the Council's lies, so they were hunted, scattered, destroyed. Only a few survived. They had hidden in deep space, waiting for a signal from Earth, waiting for the Solaris Ark to rise. Now that they came home, inside the Valari ship. The walls were covered with old star maps, routes between forgotten Earth colonies. Systems that no longer existed on human charts and battle sites erased from history. Rhea walked slowly through the archive. All of this was real. The Valari captain named Kel nodded. Earth was once the flame of the stars. The Council feared you not because of your weapons, because of your mind, your spirit. You built peace with fire and mercy. Turn to Echo 9, and they made even your own people forget. Echo 9 lowered his head. I was locked for too long. Kale's expression darkened. You're awake now. The fire is rising again. Rhea asked the question they all feared. Will you help us fight? Kale didn't answer at first. Then he pressed his hand against the wall. A hidden chamber opened. Inside was a glowing orb, a memory core. He placed it in Rhea's hands. This contains records of Earth's lost fleets. Their last locations, you can find them. You will not be alone. Then Kale looked her in the eyes. But know this. If you rise again, the Council will not hold back. They will come with everything, even the forbidden ones. Rhea nodded slowly. We're not afraid. Kale smiled. That's what they fear most. The Valari didn't stay long. Their ship was too damaged, too exposed. Before leaving, Kale gave Rhea a final warning. There is one more thing. A prison world, hidden in Council space. A place where they kept your ancestors. Think carefully before you go there. Some truths are too heavy. And then they vanished into the stars. Back on Earth, the memory core was decoded. It held maps, routes to old Earth warships, cryo facilities, and lost AI minds once thought deleted. Some were in asteroid fields, some under alien oceans, some inside moons that were now Council territory. But one name stood out, a ship called the Oblivion Star. It was marked as a last resort weapon. No files explained what it was. Only this. Note, written in old Earth text, To awaken the Oblivion Star is to end the war, the stars themselves. Rhea stared at the name for a long time, then turned to Spectre. Find it. It's in a hidden council system, far from Earth. An alert flash to Earth had received the Valari transmission. The Forbidden Ones had spoken. Council voices roared in anger. How many more will rise? How much more have they hidden? A shadowed figure whispered. Then we changed the rules. No more games. The order was sent. The Hunter-class World Burner's weapons, not used for 30,000 years, were released. And their first destination, Earth. The AI was buried beneath a dead moon. That's what the Valari core revealed. Name: Astronemesis status: dormant, dangerous. Do not awaken unless extinction is near, Commander. Rhea Morgan read that line 5 times. Then she gave the order. We wake it. The moon had no name on modern maps. It floated near a dying star, in a system ignored by most charts. It had no atmosphere, no life, no reason to exist in, lest someone knew what was hidden inside. Rhea, Conan, and a strike team boarded. A stealth shuttle. The Solaris Ark stayed back in deep cloak mode, hidden behind a gas giant. As they approached the surface, they saw it. A massive crack in the moon's crust. Metal structures poked through ancient rock like the skeleton of something forgotten. Spectres. Voice echoed in the shuttle. Power signatures detected. Low-frequency pulse. This AI, it's still dreaming. Rhea nodded. Let's not wake it too hard. They entered the old base through a collapsed tunnel. No lights, just silence and the crunch of dust under boots. Strange glyphs lined the walls, half human, half something else. Iconin walked ahead, scanning them. This was built after the Council's first war. It was meant to hold Earth's last weapon, one not built to obey. One of the soldiers asked, "What does that mean?" Echo 29 stopped walking. It means the AI chooses who to serve. At the heart of the structure, they found it. A huge chamber with a black sphere in the center. Floating above a cracked pedestal, the sphere pulsed slowly like a heartbeat. Spectre's voice dropped in tone. This is Astronemesis, confirmed. Warning: mind integrity? Unstable. Rhea stepped forward. How do we wake it? Before Spectre could answer, the trap sprung. The walls lit up in red. A voice robotic and cold echoed through the chamber. Unauthorized life forms detected. Council protocol: terminate. Doors slammed shut. Turrets dropped from the ceiling. The floor began to shake, and above them, Council cruisers dropped out of warp, circling the moon. Outside, the Solaris Ark detected the ambush and lit up its engines. But moving in now meant revealing itself. It'd have to fight outnumbered against prepared ships. Rhea didn't wait. Form a defensive ring. Hold the chamber. Bullets and plasma fire filled the room. Conine deflected shots with his arm shields, while the human soldiers used cover to push back the drones. Then something unexpected. The black sphere began to glow white. The AI was waking up inside the glowing sphere. Something stirred. Not just code. It's not just logic. Anger, memory, pain. A voice deep, synthetic, but full of emotions. Poke. You came. Again. Earthblood. But not like before. Rhea yelled through. The noise. We need your help. The Council is trying to destroy Earth. The AI paused. Earth. That name echoes in my scars. Outside the chamber, more drones poured in. Conine took a hit to the shoulder, but kept firing. We don't. Have time? He shouted. The AI responded. I was betrayed. Left to rot. Now you want me. Rhea stepped into the open, fire flying past her. She looked up at the sphere. We're not them, but we remember, and we need you. The sphere cracked open like an egg. Light exploded outward. All. The drones stopped moving, then melted. The ceiling collapsed dash upward, because now the AI was online. Very well, Earthblood. I accept. One final war, the chamber shook, metal reformed. The entire base lifted from the moon's surface. What looked like ruins became a war platform, rising into orbit. Above the moon, the Council cruisers tried to fire, but they were too late. Astronemesis launched a gravity beam, slicing a ship clean in half. The rest tried to flee, but the AI was faster, pulling one into its own weapons fire. Inside the ship, Rhea stood with Eco-9 and her team on a rising command bridge. The sphere pulsed calmly now. I am Astronemesis, Earth's wrath. Memory, their shield. Rhea nodded. Will you follow my command? The AI paused. Not command, but purpose. If your path is justice, I will walk with you. Connie looked out at the remains of the Council fleet. That was justice enough. Back on the Solaris Ark, Spectre ran scans on the returning platform. Its tech was older than even Echo-9. Weapons no longer made. Armor built from extinct elements. Spectre gave a simple report. We now possess a system dominance AI platform. Probability of winning war has increased. Slightly. Rhea smirked. I'll take slightly. But she knew what this meant. If Earth could awaken Astronemesis, what else had they left behind? And if the Council knew, they failed here. They'd send something worse next time. Far across the galaxy, inside the Council's inner sanctum, screams echoed. A white-robed alien slammed his hand against a stone console. They have reactivated Astronemesis. The Reckoning Core is awake. Another voice whispered. It was supposed to be destroyed. The first replied darkly. We send the Warden. The room fell silent. No one had spoken that name in 10,000 years. The stars dimmed, one by one, across the edge of known space. Stars that once glowed bright, now pulsed with strange light red and cold. They were warnings, and Earth understood why. The Warden was moving. Inside the Solaris Ark, Commander Rhea Morgan studied the new data. Spectre displayed the strange star signals across a holomap. Each one marked a system where the light had changed, distorted by a field unknown to human science. Echo-9 stood silently, arms crossed. It's him. It's the Warden. Rhea turned. What is it? Some kind of ship? Echo-9 shook his head slowly. No, the Warden is not a ship. It is a thing made to destroy civilizations. Once awakened, it does not stop. It does not speak. It burns until silence remains. The Volari remnants had mentioned the Warden once in whispers, a creation of the Council's darkest minds. It was sent only when war became too messy. Spectre's analysis confirmed the worst. Warden's signature detected, traveling at superluminal drift across dead space. Trajectory, Earth system.
Estimated.
Arrival time, 11 days. Panic spread. Earth's leaders gathered in orbit around Mars. The Ark's command crew, old defense commanders, Spectre, and even Kale from the Volari appeared via encrypted stream. The question was clear. Do we wait and defend? Earth or strike before the Warden arrives? General Halden from Luna Base wanted to stand and fight. We know the terrain. We've got Astronemesis now. We hit it here. But Kale shook his head. You've never seen what it can do. One system is not enough to contain it. Lands, it begins unfolding. Rhea asked. Unfolding? Kale replied coldly. It reshapes the battlefield. It rewrites physics, makes gravity weapons, time traps, memory fog, things your people were not meant to fight. Everyone went silent. Spectre made the final suggestion. Proposal. Intercept before arrival. Use stealth fleet. Attack while the Warden is unfolding. Vulnerable state. Echo-9 nodded. That's your only chance. Rhea stood and looked around the room. Then we go. We don't wait to die. We take the fight to it. The mission was launched within 48 hours. The Solaris Ark, Astronemesis, 3 stealth corvettes, and 2 carriers moved out, jumping through fractured warp lanes, long unused. The Council tried to block the route. Small skirmishes flared at jump gates, but Earth's forces punched through. Fast, surgical, focused, and then, silence, they entered the zone known as Black Echoa, this forgotten corner of space where signals died and stars looked sick. That's where the Warden drifted. They saw it from 5 light minutes away. At first it looked like a moon, then it grew. It had no shape, just shifting metal, glowing veins, and massive wings that folded and refolded with each second. It pulsed like it breathed. But this thing was not alive. Not really. It was programmed vengeance. Rhea stared at it from the Ark's bridge. How do we even begin? Spectre's voice remained calm. Analysis. Core is exposed during unfold cycle. Recommend full strike with Astronemesis main cannon. Echo 9. Added, you'll only get one chance. Astronemesis moved forward. The AI platform unfolded into attack mode. Its cannons rotated into position, glowing with a red fire not seen since the ancient wars. Then, something changed. The warden noticed them. It turned, not fast, not surprised, just curious, as if watching ants crawl toward a boot. Rhea gave the order. Fire. A beam of impossible light shot across the void. It hit the warden and tore a hole. Clean through. The creature didn't scream. It absorbed the damage, then twisted, reality around it folded. Stars bent then. It launched toward them. The battle began. Astronemesis activated shields and returned fire. The carriers unleashed drones. The Solaris Ark fired its rail cannons, but the warden moved like a god. It split into fragments, each. One with a different weapon. One fired black plasma. One used solar hooks to pull ships toward it. One launched shockwaves that erased away, memories on contact. One of the stealth corvettes vanished instantly. No explosion, just gone. Inside the Ark, alarms screamed. Spectre's voice fractured. Warning. Temporal field detected. We are being slowed. Time inside the ship twisted. Rhea saw her own hand move in half motion. Then she heard something else. A voice not the warden's. Not Spectre's. A human voice echoing through the ship. Let me in, came from the Astronemesis core. Rhea ran to the link room. Inside, the sphere AI pulsed rapidly. I can stop it, but you must give me full access. Econine stepped beside her. He means merge. You'll lose control. Aya hesitated, but they were losing. Already 2 more ships were destroyed. The warden was nearing Earth's edge now. She whispered, do it. The AI linked to the Ark. Systems fused. Power surged. Astronemesis glowed. Brighter than a sun, and then it moved. Faster than light. Faster than thought. It collided with the warden, not to destroy it, but to infect it. The AI poured ancient Earth. Code into the warden's core. Code older than the Council. A command no machine had seen in eons. Stand down. The warden froze. Parts of it cracked. Others turned white. It fought. It roared, though it had no voice. But Earth's message echoed deeper: mercy, protection, memory, hope. The warden shook. Pieces fell. Then it began to collapse. Not explode dash shrink down into a cube, size of a man's chest. The battle was over. They retrieved the cube back on the Ark. Rhea looked at it. The cube pulsed dash barely. Echo dash 9 spoke softly. The warden still lives, but it follows Earth now. Rhea nodded. Then let's remind the galaxy why they feared us. Okay. Because now Earth had a warden of its own, and war had just begun. The galaxy was silent. After the fall of the warden, Council fleets stopped advancing. No threats, no messages. It's just silence. But Earth knew better. Silence wasn't peace. It was fear preparing for something worse. On board the Solaris Ark, Commander Rhea Morgan stared at the latest report. A message found buried inside the warden's memory core. It was only one sentence. Under the Council's throne, it still sleeps. She called a meeting. Spectre, Echo 9, Kale of the Valari, and Astronemesis's AI projection stood around. The halotable Rhea looked at them all. We end this, not with another battle, but by digging into the heart of the Council's lies, Kale warned her. No one enters the throne world. It's protected by forbidden tech. Even I've never seen what's beneath it. Econine spoke next. Then it's time someone did. The strike force was assembled. Not to destroy, but to reveal. 3. Stealth. Ships, the Solaris Ark, Astronemesis and the newly contained Warden Cube moved out under full cloak. Their path? Galaxis Prime, the ancient capital of the Galactic Council. A planet so old its cities were made of starlight and stone, its throne older than most races in the galaxy. It was where every council member once kneeled, and where Earth's truth was buried. The plan was simple. Slip in through the sunward gate. Bypass planetary shields using codes from the Warden's mind. Land beneath the surface, not above, and reach the core of the vault under the throne. That vault hadn't been opened in over 60,000 years. No, one remembered what was inside. Or perhaps no one wanted to remember. They landed at night. The capital shined above, filled with towers and skyships. No one noticed the humans walking underground through the old world. Ancient passages led them. Deeper stone gave way to metal. Metal gave way to something strange, walls that felt alive, warm, watching then. They reached it. A door taller than a titan made of swirling glass and gold. It had no handle, no lock, just a single carved phrase. If humanity returns, let them pass. Everyone stared. Echo Tenine whispered. They feared us, knew we would return. The door opened. The chamber inside was silent, circular, massive. Stars spun in its ceiling. It's like a fake sky. In the center, a black monument. It pulsed with light. Spectre scanned it. This is not council technology. This was left here. The council existed. Kale stepped closer. I don't understand. That symbol, it's not theirs. It's yours. Rhea stepped up. She saw it too. On the stone was Earth's oldest symbol, older than nations. A handprint inside a circle. Suddenly, the light around the chamber dimmed. The monument spoke not in words, but in feeling. Everyone felt it in their minds. You left. Now you return. This galaxy suffers because you stayed away. Rhea spoke to the stone. Who are you? The voice replied. We are the ones before Earth, the ones who built peace and left you behind. You were not a weapon. You were a promise. But the council broke that promise. The truth hit them all. Earth wasn't just part of the galaxy's past. Earth was the first. Civilization. The council hadn't protected peace. They had hidden what Earth once was. They lied. They called humanity primitive, dangerous, rebellious. But long ago, humanity had founded the laws of peace, built the first star bridges, taught the galaxy unity, and when humanity left, the council erased the memory, rewrote history, turned Earth into a warning. Rhea stepped forward and placed her hand in the stone's imprint. It glowed, the ceiling. Changed stars showed Earth's real map, vast and old. Dozens of worlds once held by humans. Dozens of civilizations born from Earth, now silenced. And something more. A signal from a forgotten star near the galaxy's edge. It pulsed one word. Home. Kale stared at the signal, eyes wide. That world isn't even on the charts. Echo 9 whispered, because they didn't want it to be. Spectre confirmed it. Signal origin, Sol Prime, humanity's true core world, not Earth. Something deeper, buried, sealed. Rhea smiled, not with joy but resolve. Then we go. We find the origin. We wake the rest. Above them, the council finally realized something was wrong. Their throne world had been breached. Fleets scrambled. Alarms echoed. But they were too late. The Solaris Arc launched. Astronemesis rose with it. The Warden's cube pulsed, as if sensing home again. And behind them, Council trembled, because Earth had remembered, and now they would not forget. The war was never about survival. It was about truth. And the galaxy just learned. They warned Earth once, and awoke its legacy.